Hello, hello, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Hello, Miss.
Hi, hello.
Hello, teacher.
It's good to hear you. Okay, so now we're gonna continue today with the last class. Well, last class we were talking about um, abilities and disabilities. Okay, do you remember that? Yes, do you remember? Okay, last class we were talking about abilities and disabilities, what things you can do and what things you can't do. Do you remember that? Yes? What
Yes.
can you do? Okay, remember that I'm from the university and it's very difficult here because of the internet. So now I hope not to have problems today. Les diré que la clase anterior en cada momento me sacaba, espero que en esta no, y ahorita me costó entrar. Okay. So now we're gonna start talking about some vocabulary, essential vocabulary, job vocabulary. So now we're gonna start today with this. In last class we were Hello, can you hear me? Hello, hello.
Hello, teacher.
¿Por qué? Ok. Lo voy a hacer lo más rápido que pueda porque no quiero dejar este contenido por fuera porque va a ser evaluado mañana también. Es parte del contenido. Este internet aquí me hace sufrir. Y eso que no estoy con el internet de la universidad, sino que por alguna razón también me afecta compartir internet acá. No tengo muy buena señal. Okay, now, as I told you, this is essential job vocabulary, and this is the vocabulary you have to practice or you have to know the definition. Hired is, well, you were applying for a job, okay, and you fill out a form that it was a job application form. So now, when you are hired, that means that you're going to be in the company, so part of the company. Now están empleados, okay, that's hired. Now here, employee, if you are hired, so you become an employee. And the person who hired you, that's it, the person who hired you is your employer. Now, your colleague is a person who is working with you in the same area. That's your colleague, the same as coworker. Boss is the person who gives you some commands, okay? Is your supervisor. That's your boss. Fired, okay. Imagine this company doesn't want you to work for them, okay? So now you are fired. You're gonna be fired. So now they get you out of the company. laid off in COVID-19. Many people were laid off because they said that they didn't have work for the people. So now they were not fired. Most of the people were not fired, but they were laid off. That means that they stopped working for a while, but then they continue working. So they stopped working for 1 or 2 months. And after that time, they start working again. So they were reincorporated. Now, earned a salary, it's the correct word when you get some money from that salary. So now you don't have to say win a salary, ganar un salario. It's not win a salary. It's not get a salary, but you have to say earn a salary. Get a pay, well, if you work, so you're going to get a pay, okay? You're going to get some money. Get a promotion. Imagine you are an assistant and then they ask you to be a supervisor. So now you get a promotion, you go higher in some positions. Get a bonus. If your salary is 10,000 and you get, for example, let me check, and you get 1,000 more, that means that is not part of your salary because you don't receive it frequently, but you get an extra money. So that extra money is a bonus you received. Resign from a job or leave your job. So now resign for a job, it's a formal way to say that you are going to be out of that job. And leave your job, it can be formal or informal, so you go out of that job. Quit your job, it's a very informal way to say that you are not working for that company anymore. So now, when you are fired, the company decides you to be out of the company, okay? And when you quit your job, you leave your job, you decide to be out, not the company. It's your decision, not the company's decision. And retire is when you are very old, okay? So now it's time for you to go and rest at home or do another activity, but not continue working in that company, so you are retired. Okay, now this vocabulary, you have to study the definition of all these words because they're going to be part of the exam. Now let's go to this part. It says, where do you work? I work at. So now when you say at, that means that you are going to mention the name of the company. So you say, I work at Expreso Americano, I work at La Colonia, I work at La Curazao. So you mention the name of the company here. Now, when you say I work in, you're going to mention a place, a city, country, department, or general area. It says, I work in Tegucigalpa, I work in Honduras, I work in sales department, I work in marketing area. So now you're going to say in when you mention a place, a city, country, department, or general area. I work for. So now that means that you're going to say the name of the company again or a name of a person. For example, I work for Gesterio, okay? Or I work for Mr. Matute, Mr. Oseguera, Mrs. Hernandez. So now you say I work for. And you mention the name of the company or the name of a person. I work with means that here you're going to mention some things or people. It says, I work with computers. I work with students. I work with children. I work with teenagers. I work with elderly. Okay, so now it says I work with computers, with books. I work with any material you use for your working. Okay, Now, you have to remember, I work at with the name of the company. I work in places, countries, cities, okay? I work for the name of a company or a person. I work with some things you used to work or people you are working with. Now, what do you do or what do you do for a living? This information. So now, what do you do and what do you do for a living? It's like the same question, okay? What do you do? I am a teacher. What do you do for a living? I am a teacher, okay? It's the same, es la misma. What do you do or what do you do for a living? Now, what do you do for a living? I am unemployed, estoy desempleada, okay? What do you do for a living? I am between jobs at the moment, okay? Ando buscando empleo, okay? What do you do for a living? I'm self-employed. Usted mismo se da empleo, tiene una empresita. O I own a small business, okay? Tengo un pequeño negocio. So now, what do you do for a living? So here it says, I'm unemployed. What do you do for a living? I am between jobs at the moment. What do you do for a living? I am self-employed. And what do you do for a living? I own a small business. Okay? What do you do for a living? What do you do for a living? You may answer this for. Now, I'm going to ask you right now, what do you do for a living? Let's see, Linda Nunez, what do you do for a living? Linda?
Yes.
What do you do for a living?
I am unemployed.
Okay, I am unemployed. Okay, Larissa Ceron, what do you do for a living?
I am employed.
Unemployed, okay. Michelle Contreras, what do you do for a living?
I'm unemployed.
Okay, good. Ever Lagos, what do you do for a living?
I am unemployed.
Okay, Nisi Montoya, what do you do for a living?
I'm unemployed.
Okay, Christian, what do you do for a living? Christian, what do you do for a living, Christian? Nothing at all? Okay, now let's continue. Okay, here. Now, these are areas of a company. Here I have like functional areas of a business. And the functional areas can be human resources, okay, operations, sales, marketing, financing, and accounting. These are areas of a company. The areas, so we have 6 areas of a company. In human resources, there are some activities they do: compensation, vacation, skills, and training. Okay, you have to know that the training belongs to human resources activities. Now, in operations, they do another activities like receiving, fulfillment, process control, purchasing. Okay, in sales, order taking, CRM, self-service, those are the activities they do in each area. Over here, we have accounting, AR, AP, payroll, general ledger, okay? So now, and finance is cash management, assets management, and budgeting. Those are the activities they do in financing. In marketing, retail pricing, sales promotion, sales force management, customer loyalty, interactive marketing. So now these are the activities in each area of this company do, okay? So now what activities do we do in operations? So in operations, we use purchasing. In operations, we use process control. In operation, we receive some products. So those are operations. Now, what about sales? What do we do in sales? Well, order taking, self-service, okay? And here you have this picture that illustrates what activities do we do in each area of a company. I don't know if you have any question. I would like you, for the exam, I would like you to study the personal questions, how to introduce a person, how you introduce yourself on areas of a company, the special vocabulary or essential vocabulary, job vocabulary. I would like you to know some professions and occupations related to business and what activities they do in each profession or occupation. So now, I would like you to study all this content for the exam tomorrow. So now, tomorrow we're going to have the exam, and you're going to have a lot of time to do it. Just 20 minutes, having the exam, starting the exam, you're going to have 20 minutes, but you can do it during the day from 9 until 11:55. Okay, so we have a lot of time to do it the whole day. Now, do you have any question? Any question? Yes, could you please write down the word present? No sé si se me está yendo. Write down the word present, please.
¿Cuál es la tarea, profe?
Well, you have a homework for today, and today you have to present an album in which you are going to describe the activities of some business professions, and that's an album that you're going to have.
Profe, con eso una consulta. Fíjese que yo ya hice la presentación, pero el problema que tengo es que el PowerPoint o la computadora que tengo no me da, o sea, yo puedo grabar, pero no salgo en el video. ¿Cómo puedo hacer? Porque
sí, me imagino que ha de ser como 2006, 16, más o menos por ahí, por eso no le da opción. Entonces usted puede abrir una sala de Zoom y ir presentando, o sea, pasar las diapos y irse grabando usted mismo. Así la puede presentar.
Sí, porque ya tengo hecho eso, solo me falta lo que tengo que grabar, entonces ese era mi dilema ahorita, entonces, pero ya usted me dio la opción, gracias.
Ok.
Bien, pero solo es necesario el audio, o sea,
No, tiene que ir video, porque si no, no voy a saber quién está enviando la información. Okay, any other question?
No.
No? Okay, so bye-bye and see you. If you have any question, let me know, please. Goodbye and have a nice day.
Mañana habrá clase.
Okay, si tienen alguna pregunta con respecto al examen, lo podemos tener sin ningún problema. Si no, solo hacen su examen.
Ok, perfecto.
Okay.
Profe, el examen es de las clases que hemos tenido, los trabajos que hemos hecho también.
Exactamente, de eso es su examen mañana.
Ok.
Miss,
Yes.
tengo una consulta. Yo ya cargué el trabajo, pero no hice el video. Sí el audio, pero no el video por lo de la computadora, que es...
Hágalo en Zoom o lo graba aparte y solo lo anexa nada más a la presentación. No lo haga directamente desde PowerPoint, sino que puede hacer el videíto y lo adjunta, lo pega en la presentación.
Como un link, licenciada.
Diga.
Es que yo la vez pasada no pude también y lo tuve que subir a YouTube y pegar el link en la diapositiva.
No, pero si lo hace con una presentación, o sea, hace la presentación de Power y luego aparte hace su videíto con el celular y luego solo lo pega y le sale igual.
Ah, ya.
Ok.
Gracias, Liz.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Una consulta, ¿el examen va a estar puesto mañana todo el día o solo la hora clase?
No, está desde las 9 de la mañana hasta las 11:30 de la noche, 11:55.
Ok.
Gracias.
Una consulta.
Dígame, Cecia.
Mire que, bueno, en mi caso yo ya lo subí, pero yo tuve que subir la presentación a a la nube, pero le mandé el link a usted por medio de Word en la plataforma, ya que no pude subir la presentación por muy pesada.
Ok. Si me da acceso, no hay ningún problema.
Ah, ok, gracias.
Okay, okay. Okay, so bye-bye. Have a nice day.
Bye bye.
Bye, bye.
Bye.
Hasta mañana.